The useEffect is a hook for encapsulating code that has to do with side effects. And it is a combination of component did mount, component did update, and component will unmount. Previously, functional component don't have access to the component lifecycle. But with useEffect hook, you can tap into the lifecycle features. Therefore, we can say that the useEffect hooks allows you to perform side effects in your components. Some example of side effects includes fetching data, directly updating the DOM, and timers. In simplicity, the useEffect syntax will look like this. If you want to make use of the useEffect, first, you have to import it at the top. The useEffect is a function, therefore, we have to invoke it. And here exactly is where the fun begins. So right now, I want you to fold your hands and pay attention to my explanation. And please do not join me in typing code. So the useEffect is a function, right? And here we invoked the function. The useEffect function takes in two parameters. The first parameter is a function that gets executed after every render. Alright? Which simply implies every time the component renders, the function will get called. So the first parameter of the useEffect is a function that gets called after every render. Okay? So this guy right here. Okay, let me put it together so that you can get the gist. This is the first parameter of the useEffect, which is a function that gets executed after every render. And the second parameter is an empty array, which is widely called the dependency array. So for that, we just have to place a comma right here and then take in an empty array. So this is the first parameter of the useEffect. And then this is the second parameter of the useEffect. This guy right here gets fired up after every render. So this is called the effect. This function right within the useEffect hook is called effect. When an empty dependency array is passed as the second argument to the useEffect hook, it simply means the useEffect will run only on the first render. So whenever the component re-renders, the useEffect is not going to run. That exactly is the use of the empty dependency array. Another important point is that you can also condition effects using the props or state value. And you do that by passing it right within this array. Don't worry, in the next lecture, when we begin the implementations, you will definitely understand it well enough. Alright, so this is just a glimpse of what the useEffect is. Another important point that I want you to take note of is that the useEffect is defined inside the component. And by so doing, we will be able to get access to the state and props without having to write additional code. So let's quickly format this code and have it look better. Perfect. So to recap, before you make use of the useEffect, first, you have to import it at the top level. The useEffect is a function, yeah? So we have to invoke it over here. And having done that, the useEffect accepts two parameters. The first parameter is an arrow function, which in this case, the effect. And the second parameter is an empty array. So having understood all this, we can boldly say that the second argument helps to conditionally run effect. Let's practicalize it in the next lecture. See you then.